Hello, everyone. Welcome to Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. My name is Scott Carney. I'm here with a special pod. I don't know if you can call it a special pod, but a podcast titled The State of Play at Rangers. And during an international break, we don't usually do a midweek podcast because it is only Scotia that watch Scotland, and that's not a dig. But it is only Scotia that really watches Scotland and follows Scotland. So we tend to have the wee week off and be nice to ourselves. But I've kind of felt the need over the past couple of days, especially over the weekend's events, to come on and empty my thoughts. I feel need to empty all my Rangers thoughts, and I thought the best place to do it would be at Hughes for those that want to listen to me kind of ramble on about pretty much everything at the football club just now. So yeah, I'm after kind of piecing myself together after and the reason I'm not live tonight is when I do these kind of things, it's hard to do the comments and stuff as well when I'm on my own. So that's the reason it's just a recorded video, just so you know. So I know somebody will say, "Oh, I missed it, I didn't get a notification," it's because I'm not live. Anyway, I'm already going off on tangents. But yeah, after piecing myself back together after my very welcoming podcast to the return of Steven Gerrard, it kind of come back and slapped me full force right in the face, and the very disappointing news on Saturday night that Steven Gerrard would indeed not be the Rangers manager. I've found myself in a bit of a back and forth kind of one thought this, one thought that, but and then you start to think of the bigger picture. Obviously, after things start to settle down and the most recent crisis dies away, I suppose, and then you start to think about the future and what it holds for the club and everything else that's going on at the football club just now. On Friday night when we were doing the podcast regarding Steven Gerrard, as far as I was aware, everything was going smoothly, and it looked very likely that Steven Gerrard would be the next Rangers manager. And unfortunately, he isn't. He's not going to be at the kind of 11th hour up until I think about Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Steven Gerrard was very much the choice for being the next Rangers manager, according to all reports. And then, as I say, he's decided to pull out for one reason or another. Not an ideal situation for anyone. I think, I'm not going to say everybody in the support wanted him back, but I would say the majority of people that I spoke to wanted him back as Rangers manager. And yeah, we're still left just now as it stands on Tuesday, the 14th of October, without a manager, with a game coming up in as little as 4 days' time. So I'm going to start at the owners and kind of work my way down from there, if that makes sense. And of course, I'll get to the most recent rumours about who's the going to be the next Rangers manager. But yeah, I've had a lot of time to think. I had a kind of long drive today while I was at work, and listened to various bits of different podcasts and things like that, and it just started to get my mind kind of thinking about pretty much everything at the football club. In regards to the new owners, when they took over in the summer, I don't think they could have envisaged. Well, I would like to think they couldn't have envisaged any of this happening for them to be in the current state that the club is in, and the recruitment of another manager. Or we've had 4 managers in 4 years, so there's going to be another manager added into that. I don't think for a second that they would have thought that this is where they would be at this stage of the season. And as I say, mid-October. However, you do start to have to really question what they thought they were coming into as well, in the nicest possible way. I'm still have admiration for the guys that wanted to come here and basically buy over the club and become the custodians of the club and be willing to input their money into it. Without being too over the top, it has been fully negative, really, since the takeover was announced. Since then, we've went kind of downhill with obviously the very strong rumour that started with Russell Martin coming in, etc. But it has me thinking that when they came into this job, what was their thought process about what this club was? And again, this is all purely my opinion. Have they thought to themselves, and this is stuff that I've been thinking, have they thought to themselves, this is a copy and paste job from everything that we've done before, we'll be able to apply all of that to this and it will work? And ultimately they've been found out that it doesn't work. And we say it all the time in terms of being Rangers fans. Rangers Football Club is probably like a club like no other. And we'll say that because it's our club and we believe we've got the most special club in the world, like anybody that supports any team will believe. But with Rangers in particular, there is this just certain bubble that you live in. It's the goldfish bowl of Scottish football, but Rangers is its own goldfish bowl within Scottish football, really, in terms of the demands, in terms of the standards, in terms of what we believe a Rangers team should be and what a Rangers club should be, what our club should be, and the different values that we want it to live to. And I do get the distinct impression a little bit that they underestimated the job. They were slightly complacent, and when they came into the role, and they have found themselves scrambling about now. I think it's fair to say they are scrambling about, especially after the weekend, which I will come to. But they are scrambling about now to try and somehow piece things back together to get a bit of good feeling back within the football club, back within the fans, because the fans are the ones that are let down most in all of this, and that's because we are the football club. Without us, the club is nothing. So we're the ones that have been left with a big bill in terms of the money that you pay into the club, with very little coming back in return in terms of enjoyment, in terms of performances on the pitch, in terms of decisions making by the hierarchy to ultimately lead to better results on the football pitch and better football on the pitch. We're the ones that are rightly, in my opinion, feeling kind of shortchanged. So they now are, they're in a process where they have to get this correct. They have to rebuild the what's it? It's basically like, it's not wiping the slate clean. Don't get me wrong, but we are now at a point where they have to almost forget what's happened in the past and move forward. But the one thing they can't forget about the past is their mistakes that they've made. And again, it's made me think, when they come out and have announced whoever this new head coach manager is going to be, they're not exactly going to be able to stand there and say to us, this was our number one choice. He rose to the top. He was the one through the thorough recruitment process that we went through, etc., because they'll lose credibility. And credibility, that's not something that they exactly have a lot in the bank of right now. So I'd be interested to see if we ever get an interview from them in terms of, we've made a mistake here, we've made a mistake there, and this is what we're going to do going forward. I don't expect it to be a full-blown, like, I know we got that open letter from them, but I don't want them to basically grovel or anything like that. But it would be nice for us to get a wee bit of reassurance, the fact that the mistakes that they have made are not going to reoccur again. Now, words are cheap. I get that. They don't always result in what you want to happen. Russell Martin, the perfect example of that. But the process that they have to start rebuilding this with the fans, I think is crucial for them. I really think it's crucial for them going forward. There is no doubt that they'll have seen a bit of a drop in terms of revenue coming into the club. The Champions League, I wish, the Europa League packages themselves have not sold out. We've been not having hospitality sell out. We've got a training range and a number of things brought out by the current deal under the Umbro name that, in my opinion, are way below the standards that you would expect when you're paying 80 quid for a training top, for example. You expect it to be a very good one, or 60 quid for a training top. You expect it to be a pretty spectacular one, and none of them, even after going to see them with my own eyes, none of them really stand out. So they're in a process just now where things definitely have not went anywhere near as well as they could. And these things can happen. Mistakes can happen. Of course they can. It's how we respond to them, and it's how we react to them. Ultimately, they left it too late to sack Russell Martin, and this is now why they're in the situation where they are scrambling in these 2 weeks to try and get an appointment. And as I say, so far, we're still sitting without a manager, very close to a game upcoming on Saturday. In typical Rangers fashion, though, by the time I go to upload this, no doubt they've announced to the Rangers manager's going to be. Let's hope not. But yeah, as I say, right now they are in they're in a situation where we are desperate as fans for the team to win. We are desperate as fans to have something to cling on to and to look at and to identify with. And ultimately, they didn't get the man that the majority of the fans wanted, which, no matter what the reason may be, that Gerrard isn't coming here. I know it was been floated that it's due to the tax reasons with Saudi, and it became to a point where there was literally nothing they could do about it, and that's why he's decided not to do it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Maybe it's just the current mood I'm in with the fans, with the club just now, that I'm like, I don't know what I believe, to be honest, right now. And that's purely because in my opinion, from an outsider looking in, Gerrard said no to this. And it's difficult for me to sit here, no matter how much of a fanboy I am of Steven Gerrard, to say that he deserves another chance to be interviewed for this job further down the line. And I know that's been said in different articles or different reports that get brought out, that the door's been left open for a potential return. In my opinion, that doesn't say a lot about the guy that's potentially coming in. So I don't know how true that is either. I don't think that's a very smart thing to be making public, that the door would always be left open for Steven Gerrard to come back when it's not going to be him, and you have to go and recruit a next guy. Is he going to be saying, well, you're just going to keep me until Gerrard decides he's ready? Again, with all these things being heightened and you're looking into different things at different times, and your mind's kind of running over time with the current state of the club, it is easy to quickly jump to conclusions. But I'm interested to see genuinely what everybody else's train of thought is. I'm interested in your, please leave comments about everything that I'm saying, the topics that I cover tonight, because I'm interested to hear what you think, just to see if it is just me that's going mental and overreading things, or if it is generally the consensus of the fans. After speaking with the guys, it's been quiet. I'm not going to lie, even in the group chat and stuff, it's been very quiet. There's not a lot of chat just now, because people, I think, are going to just a wee bit bored of this, constant really suckish that Rangers are becoming. And it's, for outsiders looking in, like even after the Gerrard video, the podcast that Ross and I done, we were getting pelters, and of course we're going to get pelters. I would be laughing heavily at that on Saturday night if I had put all my eggs in that basket and that didn't happen. They deserve to laugh, because look at the state of the football club. So they deserve to have a go at us. I'm all for it. I generally, fair play to them. The personal stuff and all that, it's easily just remove, and you don't have to put up with it. But people that generally want to have a laugh about it, I'm like, fair enough. If you put your neck out there, you've got to take it back when it doesn't quite go the way you expected. And yeah, as I say, I'm more than happy for that to do that. I even had a few subscribers saying, why do you not take the video down? Because why would I do that? At that point, that's where I was thinking, and that's the bit that I was at, and that's the feeling that we all had, I suppose. Well, me especially. And when it goes wrong, you've just got to hold your hands up and go, well, that was wrong. Just like the new owners need to learn from their mistakes, I'll try and learn from mine. But I don't really see it as a mistake. Gerrard, I won't hide it. Like, it's very public that I wanted Gerrard to be Rangers manager. But the way things have transpired has left a wee bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, not only for Gerrard, but also for the new owners. And ultimately, the new owners are the ones that are still here and will still remain to be here. So they're the ones that will get the brunt of it. Whether we ever find out the full truth, who knows? We'll wait and see. We will wait and see. But as for Steven Gerrard and Rangers moving forward, I don't see it ever happening again, is my honest opinion on that. I don't think it will ever be the right time. I think, from what I know and what I've seen, and only based on reports that I've read and different articles and different people's opinions on things, it looks like Gerrard's decided at the last minute to say no. Whether it's tax reasons or not, whatever, it might be an easy excuse to make, I'm not sure. Again, that might be my current frame of mind, but a wee bit of it makes me think, I think you had your chance there and you've decided to say no to it. So, yeah, will be interesting to see how that transpires over the next maybe probably few years. But the fact that he's not going to be Rangers manager, it doesn't look good on the board, no matter what, or the new owners, no matter what the reason for it is. The look of it from the outside looking in, you went for a man, very publicly made it that he was your man. We were led down a path. They didn't put anything out to stop the sort of hype that was building it, that was surrounding it. And it didn't do anything to try and temper it down. It was very much coming out that it looked like it was going to happen. Even the Grim Reaper, Chris Jack, was saying that he would have been surprised if it wasn't Gerrard. And yeah, it's amazing how things quickly can change in football. But again, it's another thing for the new owners that it couldn't have went any worse for them if they tried. It really couldn't. That whole pursuit of Gerrard failing, really couldn't have went any worse for them. That's for sure. After that, after the new owners have took a bit of my thoughts, Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell are constantly under scrutiny right now, and probably rightly so. I'm not impressed by either of the guys. More so Patrick Stewart. the guy just looks like a kind of spineless leader, really, for me. I think he looks lost every time you kind of see him. He's not done anything really to make me think that he's in the right job and he's the right guy for us at this time. He's done nothing to really cement that thought process in my head. I am more at the point of looking at him and going, what are you offering my football club? What are you offering us as fans? What is your job here? What are you actually doing? There's always going to be behind the scenes stuff, this and that, things going on. However, that doesn't matter when you're not winning football games. We really don't care how much Edmund's House is turning over, or the plans of the footprint of the stadium, or this, or that, or whatever it may be. If Rangers are sitting eighth in the table, none of us really care about that. So Patrick Stewart for me is just a very uninspiring figure for me, and a guy that I've said numerous times, and I still stand by. I would be happy to see him walk out the door and say, "I'm Oski. I'm not going to do this anymore," because I just don't see what he is and what he brings and what he offers us as fans, as a club. I can't understand it. And we'll say one of the massive reasons for that brings me on to Thelwell, with a lot of people already making their mind up on Thelwell early days in terms of the squad. I think with the squad, I'm going to give it until at least I see a new manager, and I will see the team under a new manager, see what he can get out of these current group and the players that we've brought in. However, the appointment of his son and to part of his team, again, I just immediately look at Patrick Stewart. If I was sitting in the room when Thelwell came in and said, "By the way, I'm going to appoint my son," I would immediately have looked at Patrick Stewart and said, "Are you going to allow this?" And he said yes to that. That's not, I mean, that's like there's no self awareness there from either of them with that appointment. It's a ridiculous appointment, it really is. And I'm not saying that the boy's going to be a failure. For all I know, he's going to be great. However, everything around it, the look around it, the feel around it, the mood around the club, the mood around the fans, that was completely the wrong thing to do. It's almost like it's like a parody account, and that's what I thought it was when I initially seen the announcement. I thought it was a parody account, and yeah, Thelwell with the deal around Shamiti as well, being 8 million for a guy that he previously paid 15 million for. I think whether all of us want to admit it or not, but as I say, I will admit it. Something about that's just not right. It just smells off. There's nothing against Shamiti as a player. You'll still obviously see more of him. I'll still give him the chance under the new manager, new head coach, whoever that may be. But 8 million for a guy we paid 8 million for so far, I have not seen an £8 million striker for me. I've not seen anything that makes me think, wow, that's what that is. That's that wee glimmer. He's came into a very difficult circumstance, don't get me wrong, because even when he came in, people didn't really want Martin here. We didn't really want Martin from the start. And he's not really been consistently appearing as if he's starting every game to maybe try and build some form of momentum. But the deal itself is still one that's very much going to sit under scrutiny. And it'll if Shamiti doesn't start hitting the back of the net under the new manager, it'll be another bat for everyone to beat the head of Kevin Thelwell with, because it's metaphorically speaking, obviously, because the decisions that he's making so far is less than impressive. He's recruited a lot of guys that he's worked with before. Again, is that thorough? Is that recruitment process that you can fully believe in? And yeah, they two guys they're definitely not out the water yet. Even with the statement that the owners released regarding the recruitment of the new manager during the open letter that they sent even to the fans, they made it quite clear that again, me probably reading between the lines a little bit too much, but it looked like it made it quite clear that Thelwell and Stewart are very much on the radar of the owners. And the fact that the owners are so heavily involved with this new recruitment in terms of the manager or the head coach, I think it should tell Thelwell and Stewart an awful lot about what they think of them. Thelwell and Stewart have got a long way to go to try and convince the Rangers fans that they are indeed the right guys in the right jobs at the right time to take us forward, because both are very much under the scrutiny of the Rangers fans, and yeah, two very uninspiring figures I find, looking at them. And But again, please pass your comments. And I say, you never know under this new manager, the squad might hit different heights. I mean, you look at the squad, I think Gassama's clearly the best, most promising player that we've seen anyway, outfield player that we've seen. Other good performances, I think, have been Jack Butland. I think he's been pretty consistent the full season because he's kind of had to be, considering we concede chances at fun, or we were conceding chances for fun under Russell Martin. But apart from Gassama, you're kind of left scratching your head about who else has really been fully consistent in that regard. Probably guys maybe you didn't expect, the likes of Barron. I think he's been consistent since he's came in. Curtis was consistent until he's kind of disappeared again. But the rest of them haven't been really. Cornelius has been good since he's came in, to be fair. Magoma, can't be too harsh on him as well. I think he's been decent enough. But the likes of Asgard, Ant-Man's probably been in and out the team too much. Mikey Moore, Majowski, Shamiti, these guys are not really doing very much for me. Diomandis fell away as well. They say the whole back line looks shaky as anything, so it's going to be interesting to see what this new coach, new head manager. I don't think you can get a head manager. The new coach or the new manager is going to do with this current squad. It's going to be interesting to see, and I'll reserve judgment on the majority of them until I see them under a new manager. I'm a decent coach, a coach that actually knows what they are doing, which is what I hope the new board, the new owners appoint as the next Rangers head coach / manager, because I think we all know now that Russell Martin is not a very good coach, nor a very good manager, nor a very good anything really, and the whole Russell Martin fiasco at Rangers is one that will forever tar the resume of the new owners regarding allowing it to go ahead and to be led down the garden path by a guy that clearly is not very good at what he claims to be. So where does that leave us? Moves us on to the kind of front runners, I suppose, for the job since Gerrard ruled himself out of returning. The most recently, today, Kevin Muscat is very much raced to the favourite. Again, I'm everything with a pinch of salt, but I trust where I read some of the stuff. I don't trust WhatsApp rumours, but I trust some of the stuff that you read out there. You can get a kind of gist of how they discuss it, how they approach it. Again, I'm not in the know, never have been in the know, don't really want to be in the know. I'll bring reaction to everything else just as soon as I get wind of it. And Kevin Muscat, I think that'll please a lot of people because a lot of people wanted him over Clement. So it's like going back to a guy that some may have wanted than not. I remember when it was Clement and Muscat, and I'm pretty sure without going back and checking on any video that we've done, someday will probably go and check and then come back and beat me over the head with what I said, but I'm pretty sure I said I didn't have a favourite. If I did have one, it would have been Clement slightly, but I don't think I had a favourite out of either of them. So Kevin Muscat's currently in China. Their season runs till the 22nd of November, I believe it is. I think they have 4 or 5 games left before the end of the season, and they are sitting top right now. So it looks like if he was to come, it wouldn't be until after that. On that alone, before we go any further, I again don't want to put on a tinfoil hat here, but we are not a team in China. We are Glasgow Rangers, and in my opinion, the job for Kevin Muscat, the opportunity for Kevin Muscat to come to Rangers completely outweighs anything that he can ever win in China. No disrespect to them. Generally, it's just my opinion, but there's no disrespect to them there. If he comes to Rangers and he's a success, I would imagine he will never manage in China again. Again, no disrespect, but he would get opportunities to go elsewhere after that if he is successful at Rangers. So this opportunity for him shouldn't be one that he's making stipulations about. Again, in my opinion, but I just don't think he should be doing that. If Rangers are knocking, the opportunity for him to go from China to Rangers, it shouldn't be a consideration. No matter how many games are left, he should leave. And if he wants the job enough, he should leave and come to Rangers immediately. That is my personal opinion. I think when a manager decides he's going to leave and he knows he's going to leave, we've seen it under Walter. When Walter said that he was leaving the first time, it very rarely ends well, very rarely. So I would If I was Kevin Muscat, I would be coming right now. I wouldn't be worrying about it. I think if that's how much he wants the job and he wants to take the opportunity that's in front of him, then he should very much take it. On Muscat himself, I think it will be like almost night and day compared to what we've seen under Russell Martin. It really will be. Ryan's favourite saying used to be attack, 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 and Kevin Muscat, I think, it's not far away from that sort of style of football. He's got a bit of experience in terms of being out there. He's been successful. Yes, he has, and obviously he used to play for Rangers many, many moons ago. And yeah, he was a guy that was linked with the job and had quite a lot of hype around him when we were in the process of recruiting either Clement or Muscat. So yeah, again, I not that I won't be negative on any of the managers who decide to come in or whoever is appointed, whoever they come in, I'll get behind them as much as I tried to get behind Russell Martin, got behind Clement. It'll all be the same. Is it the guy I wanted? No, it isn't, because the guy I wanted was Steven Gerrard, and I've got no problem with admitting that and admitting that I was completely wrong and got ahead of myself. And he very much counted my chickens before they'd even slightly hatched. These things can happen though in football, but in terms of second choice, after the names that were getting put around, so you had Danny Rowe, Slaven Bilic, you've had Michael Carrick, you've had who else? Gary O'Neill. I can't remember the other ones. There's been so many, obviously. There's been so many. And obviously, the likes of Sean Dyche throwing himself out looking like he's going to get the Forest job. So he's probably wanted to stay there to go back into the English league. But yeah, the names that were suggested, Danny Rowe he can be classed, I think, as a project manager. Now, after it was quite easy for me and even the guys in the chat where we were speaking about it, we don't need that, we need this, we need Gerrard, and that was before Gerrard had ruled himself out, and we were all like, yeah, I need a Gerrard. And that, as I say, that's pretty much the majority of us. I don't think anybody actually within any of my chats said that they didn't want Gerrard. But to compare Rowe and Russell Martin, but from everything that I've read and looked into, isn't really fair, because they are not the same type of manager at all. They don't even have nearly the same philosophy of play. The only thing I think they share in common is they like to keep possession, but Rowe's very attacking in terms of it's like attacking possession that he prefers to have. In terms of Martin's just give it to Suter and let Suter pass it to his centre half and then eventually hit a ball out or something. So it's a different style. I think it's always a wee bit telling when you go and look at people that have had him as a manager before, and you look at reports from then on fan sites, on whatever else, and he always got quite high praise. He did, and he's one that I would be slightly worried about, because the last thing we need is a project manager that fails again. Does a project manager even fit Rangers? I'm not 100% sure. Are we in that position right now where we can go, right, new guys coming in, it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 months for the guy to get it right? I don't think the Rangers fans have got that in us just now, and quite rightly so. Ultimately, we have to start winning, and we have to start winning as soon as Saturday. And you can't look past Saturday at all. Saturday's a must-win game for Rangers. I don't think anybody's going to accept anything other than a win on Saturday. So my concern with Rowe would be, is he the right guy at the right time? Basically, he's probably got a real chance of, in terms of his resume, his talent, his reports that he gets, he's probably got a chance to make a name for himself in the game, absolutely no doubt. But I don't know if Rangers as a club can afford to have another 4 months of not quite Russell Martin standards, because I honestly don't think anybody is going to be as bad as that. I think we will start to see Rangers being a much better team almost immediately, whether it's a new manager bounce as well, possibly. But the thought process behind the philosophy manager, against probably the wrong word. I don't think he is a philosophy manager, but he's been branded as that. And yeah, I think immediately people are like, don't need him, don't want him, and people have made their mind up on him pretty much immediately. They're not the same man, they're not the same type of coach. But again, I still, if the appointment was to happen, I would still have my reservations about it. I still have my reservations around pretty much anybody that's been linked. I'm not going to lie. Even around Gerrard, slightly, I promise, just slightly. I had my reservations around that as well, regarding what he was going to change and what he was going to do different from the first time round. And even Muscat, I'll have my reservations around it. The only thing that I know about Muscat is he'll be coming here to win football games. That's what is his style. His style is to win, literally go and win games. So I think quite quickly we would see something happening if it was under them. But it looks like it's going to be between Roland Muscat, based on my disastrous prediction that I made on Friday's podcast. I won't be doing that tonight, believe it or not. But right now it looks like Muscat is the one at the front of the pack. So we will wait and see what comes of that. There has been rumours if Muscat comes, then it will be Neil McCann, who will become apparently part of his, again, apparently back of his backroom staff, but he will take the team until Muscat's finished in China. I'm not a massive fan of that. I'm not going to lie. What does that say about, again, Muscat himself? I think he should come now. If that is the case, I think he should be already packed his bags and on his way. If that's what the decision is going to be. I've got nothing against Neil McCann. I've really like Neil McCann, generally really do. Even as a pundit, I really like Neil McCann. I've got no doubts that he'll be able to play better football than what Russell Martin will. I'll get this team playing better football than Russell Martin will. I just don't know if it's the right thing to do in terms of putting an interim in until Muscat decides that he's finished in China. Muscat's an exciting appointment in terms of what we'll potentially see under his management, under his coaching, but I don't know if putting McCann in with such big games coming up. I mean, we've got a semi-final against Celtic coming up, not far away at all, a couple of weeks away. And I just don't know if that's the right thing to be doing right now. I really don't know if that's the right thing to be doing right now. If that's what they're going to do, and the owners have decided, yes, this is our guy now, after Gerrard, it's going to be Muscat, then I'll be interested to hear the thought process behind allowing him to finish the league there. And I'm not being overly negative on that. Generally, I'm not. It's just, again, a bit of a reservation that I have, that I feel like if you're coming, come now, because it's ready for you and the opportunity is there for you. So let's get started pretty much immediately. So yeah, that's my take on it. But yeah, if it's going to be Muscat, then fine. Let's go for it. Let's absolutely go for it. Let's see some proper attacking football, and we'll see what comes of it. I wish whoever takes it genuinely all the best. I really do. They're in for a hell of a ride, but kind of leads me on to my kind of finishing up thoughts. A guy I went to see at the start of the week said to me, who would want a Rangers job? Why would you want to be involved in a basket case club like that? And I thought, well, yeah, we are. We are. It's generally a club like no other. And that's what we'll always believe in. It is what we are. The demands are impeccably high and they'll never change. That's the thing. That we're not going to change our approach for anyone. But I did say my argument was to and for it. My argument against it was, yes, we have changed managers more times than the weather has changed in Scotland. We have had the worst start to a season that I can remember in my lifetime. And yeah, none of us are particularly happy or wanting to spend money with the club. It's not a very attractive league that we play football in. But in the same breath, I changed it to, we have an opportunity to perform in Europe pretty much every season. We have 50,000 people in that stadium. By hook or by crook, we will go to the games no matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets, people will still go. And yes, look, if Russell Martin was still in charge right now, I'd be questioning my sanity and my ability and my appetite to be going to Ibrox at the weekend. But I would have probably have still went. I'm not going to lie with you. I would have sat there and thought about it. I thought, nah, I'm going to need to go, and I'm going to have to do it because it's just what I am and it's just what I do. Obviously, we're on a podcast as well, but even away from that, it's not, some may think it's right, some may think it's wrong. It's just something I've always done. I sat there through the banter years. I sat and watched some absolute dross, and I just always continued to go because it's just in me. It's just what I do. But if you're getting it right, and you're the guy on the touchline, and that place is rocking. And I keep looking to the right of me because I've got a massive picture of Ibrox to the right of me. If you get that place rocking, then it's genuinely the best place in the world to be at. There's nowhere better in the world when you're winning football games and your team are flying, when Rangers are flying. Ibrox is electric. We've seen it so many times, the European nights that we've shared. And yeah, you start winning trophies for this club, you will be immortalised. You will be immortalised forever. And you will be a legend forever, wherever you go in the world, because there's Rangers fans all over the world. Rangers is a massive, massive football club. And yes, in recent years, we have absolutely been a binfire of a football club. But no matter what, when we start winning again, and we probably will, I'm not going to say definitely, but we probably will, things will need to change. The tide can't stay like this forever, because God help us all if it does. But things will change, and we'll remember, and we do remember, and these things haven't ever kind of disappeared away from us, that being a Rangers fan is more than just going to the football. It means a lot more to us than that. It is the cliche, and it's true. It's our way of life. And when you've got a manager that you believe in and a team you believe in, going to Ibrox is the highlight of your week. You can't wait. Literally, you're counting the days between games. When you're like that, this has to be arguably the best job in football. It really does. Yes, and that includes going to Dingwall, but that has to be, because Ibrox is a special, special place, and Rangers are a special, special club. So yeah, basket case right now. Things are in turmoil right now, and it's a bit of a mess, absolutely no doubt. However, you can get things right and get it right quickly by firstly winning football games. If you start winning games, you start seeing the players performing. You start seeing us convincingly beating teams that we should be beating. And I think we sometimes think we ask for too much, we're too demanding. We've got 10, 12, 15 times the wage budget that most of the teams do in this league. It's not unacceptable for Rangers fans to ask us to win football games, especially at Ibrox. There is no reason for us not to be. It's a two team league the majority of the time. Hearts have started very well, and Rangers will struggle to catch up with Hearts and Celtic for that matter this season. But these things, this feeling, the atmosphere around the football club can quickly change. It can quickly change by winning football games, getting it right, getting players performing, and giving us something to identify with and get behind. Once you start doing that, the rest ultimately will take care of itself, and the new owners will buy themselves time. But it's now crucial for them to get this correct, and they have to get it right very, very soon. I'm a bit apprehensive about going into the weekend without a full-time manager. I'm not going to lie, and it's getting a bit close. We'll see what unfolds over the next 48 hours or so. But yeah, if they get this right, we start winning football games, and very, very quickly things will get put right. We'll all start feel better about going to Ibrox. We'll all still have that gander back, and Ibrox will become that place again. And yeah, it's up to the new owners now to make sure they get that right. But by God, if it goes right, it's one of the best places in the world to watch football, and I'll stand by that until the day I die, really. Thank you for listening to me ramble on tonight. I thought I had to come on and get things off my chest. We will be back on Friday with Club Live, hopefully with a new manager to discuss. Hopefully we'll have an announcement before Friday about what the plans will be, and if we do and the other guys are available, if at least me and one of the other guys is available, I'll jump back on, so you're not just listening to me go on again. But yes, if we hear nothing, hopefully we've got something to speak about on Friday as we preview the return of league football. So yes, thank you very much for listening to me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. I'll speak to you at the latest on Friday. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.